Let me tell you about the most frustrating year of my entire life, because I think you might recognize yourself somewhere inside this painful story. I was eating clean. I was fasting. I was in the gym sweating like my body owed me money. I did everything right. I followed the magazines, the trainers, the so-called experts. And yet, my belly fat refused to move. Not an inch. Not a single pound. I would stand at the mirror, suck in, turn sideways, and there it was. That same stubborn roll, mocking every bit of effort I gave. Here is the part that nearly broke me. I was not lazy. I was not lying to myself. I was truly doing the work. So why was my body fighting me this hard? Why was it gripping that fat like a stubborn child refusing to let go of a toy? It took years of failure to finally understand the answer. And when it clicked, everything changed. So lean in, because this flips the whole problem upside down. That deep belly fat wrapped tightly around your organs is not stubborn at all. The truth is far stranger than that. It is actually protective. Read that again slowly. Your body is not holding that fat because it is broken, or weak, or because you lack the willpower to push harder. Your body holds that fat because, deep down, it believes it needs it. It honestly thinks that fat is helping to keep you alive. And until you change that belief, until you convince your body it is finally safe, you can starve and suffer and still see nothing change. Because as far as your survival brain is concerned, letting go of that fat right now could actually get you killed. That is the real problem. So here is my promise to you today. I will show you why cortisol, your main stress hormone, is the hidden switch behind all of this. Then I will walk you through, step by careful step, exactly how to turn that switch off, so your belly fat finally begins shrinking again. Not through force, not through punishment, but by quietly removing the signals that have been screaming danger to your body this whole frustrating time. Stay with me right to the end, because the final step is the one almost everyone ignores, and it might be the most powerful of them all. Let me clear something up first, because this is exactly where most people go wrong before they have even taken their very first step forward. Visceral fat is not a simple calorie problem. I know that sounds like heresy. We were all raised believing the body is just a bank account. Calories in, calories out, we were told. But the deep fat around your organs simply does not play by those tidy, comfortable little rules at all. It is not really about laziness. It is not even truly about carbohydrates, no matter what the loudest voices in the low-carb world keep insisting. Visceral fat is hormonal. It is tightly tied to a small handful of signals: cortisol, insulin, chronic inflammation, poor sleep, and the toxic load you carry. When your body senses any mix of those things, it reads the moment as a genuine threat. And a threatened body behaves like the survival machine it is. It stockpiles emergency reserves. It packs fat tightly around your organs, deep in your midsection, like a squirrel burying acorns before a winter it deeply fears. So here is the mindset shift that makes the next 30 days actually work for you instead of against you, the way everything else seems to. This plan is not about forcing fat off your frame. It is about removing the reasons your body wanted to store that fat in the first place. Take away the threat, and the body has no reason left to hoard. The fat loses its job. And once fat has no job, it leaves. 7 steps. 30 days. One clear mission. Let us get into the very first move, because this one quietly controls almost everything else that follows after it. Here is a number that should stop you in your tracks. You have over 600 different hormones running through your body at any given single moment. 600. But when it comes to storing fat, only one of them is really holding the keys to the whole thing. That hormone is insulin. Insulin is the master switch for fat storage. Every time you eat, especially anything sugary, insulin rises, and while it stays high, your body stays in storage mode. It physically cannot reach into your fat reserves and burn them while insulin is high. Picture trying to drain a bathtub while the faucet runs full blast. And here is the part that ties it all together. Cortisol raises insulin too. So if you are stressed, you are storing, even without eating a single bite. So our very first move is simple. We drive insulin down and we keep it down. The cleanest way to do that is a strategic eating window. Here is the schedule. You eat all of your meals, all of your calories, between 8 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. Nothing outside it. That gives you a 6-hour eating window. 2 or 3 solid meals, no random nibbling. Then you fast from 2 in the afternoon until 8 the next morning. That is an 18-hour fast every single day. It sounds intense at first, but your body adapts faster than you think, and the rewards build quickly. Let me tell you why this works so well. Because once you understand the mechanism, you will actually want to do it instead of dreading it each day. Every single hour you spend fasted, your insulin drops a little lower, your sugar reserves drain down further, and slowly your body is forced to find another fuel. That fuel is your fat. Hour by hour, you are not just losing surface weight. You are reaching deep and pulling fat away from your crowded organs. Here is a bonus most people completely miss. By closing your eating window early, you give your body a long, quiet runway of empty digestion before bed. You are not sleeping on a heavy, full stomach, struggling to process a late dinner. Instead, your body is free to do its real overnight repair work. It produces growth hormone and melatonin, and it slides you into the deepest stages of sleep, the exact place where the most powerful fat burning truly happens. I want this crystal clear. You burn more visceral fat during one great night of deep sleep than during most workouts. Your body works while you rest. But we are going to add one more weapon on top of this. Just once a week, you are going to do a full 24-hour fast. Here is how it fits. Say you eat your normal window most days. Then one evening you finish eating and simply do not eat again until the next afternoon. A clean 24 hours with no food at all. Why bother doing this? Because it mimics something ancient and deeply natural, written into your very biology. Our ancestors never ate on a perfect 3-meal schedule. They went through stretches without food, and their bodies adapted to thrive on it instead of breaking down. A weekly fast gives your body that same kind of positive, short, sharp stress. A challenge that makes you stronger, without the chronic, grinding cortisol that wears you down. During that fast, the benefits compound beautifully. Insulin keeps falling. Your sugar reserves empty completely, forcing your body fully into fat burning and producing clean ketones for fuel. Your digestion finishes entirely. And then something remarkable switches on inside you. A quiet repair process with a strange name. Scientists call this process autophagy. Let me explain autophagy in plain words, because it is genuinely beautiful. Picture a tiny Pac-Man moving through your cells, hunting down the damaged, worn out, broken parts. It gobbles them up, recycles them, and uses the raw material to build fresher cells and stronger mitochondria, the tiny power plants humming inside every cell you have. The healthier your mitochondria, the more energy you produce, the more efficiently you burn fuel, and honestly, the better you feel from the inside all the way out. And there is one final gift waiting at the end of that fast. Around the 24-hour mark, your body unleashes a major surge of human growth hormone. This is one of your most valuable hormones. It burns fat, slows aging, and protects your hard-earned muscle even while you are actively losing the weight you want. People pay enormous sums to have it injected, along with the side effects and dependency that come from getting it from outside instead of making it themselves. But your own body produces a dramatic surge of it, completely free during a single extended fast. Research has shown growth hormone climbing many times over baseline. You trigger that naturally, just once a week, simply by giving your body a short, deliberate rest from food. Now let us move on to step 2. Once your timing is dialed in, the next question becomes obvious. What exactly do you put inside that eating window once it finally opens each morning? Here is the truth. Visceral fat is fueled by inflammation. It feeds on inflammatory signals. So if you eat inflaming foods all day, the fat stays stuck. So for these 30 days, we remove the worst offenders. First, cut out all wheat and grains, the foods that quietly spike your blood sugar again and again. Cut the sugar. And yes, that includes fruit juice and even those trendy green juices that spike your blood sugar just the same as the obvious culprits do. Pull out the industrial seed oils sold as vegetable oils. That means canola, corn, sunflower, soybean, safflower, cottonseed, and grapeseed oil, hiding in nearly every packaged food. These are highly processed, fragile fats that drive inflammation deep into your system. Drop the artificial sweeteners too, since they can disturb your insulin response and your gut. And for these 30 days, set the alcohol aside completely. Alcohol directly hammers your sleep, strains your liver, and raises the very cortisol we're trying to lower. Every single thing on that list touches cortisol, insulin, or inflammation in some way. Removing them is like unplugging a noise machine you forgot was even running. Now, taking food away is only half the story. You must replace it with food that actively calms your system instead of quietly setting it on fire. So lean into quality protein. Beef, chicken, and eggs with the yolk left in, because the yolk holds most of the real nourishment your body craves. Swap those unstable oils for stable, satisfying fats. Things like butter, ghee, beef tallow, duck fat, coconut oil, olive oil, and avocado oil all work beautifully here. Pile your plate with low-sugar, nutrient-dense vegetables. Think broccoli, Brussels sprouts, arugula, and asparagus. The kind that nourish you without spiking your blood sugar through the roof. And if you want a little sweetness, reach for natural options like monk fruit or stevia instead of the harsh artificial chemicals sitting in the bright packets. Here is one more swap that quietly does a surprising amount of work behind the scenes. If you tolerate dairy, consider trading standard processed cow milk for something gentler. Try raw or A2 cow dairy, or even better, sheep and goat dairy, which a great many people digest far more easily and comfortably than regular milk. Cleaning up your dairy for 30 days can calm inflammation and let your fat-burning hormones actually reach your cells and finally do the job they were designed for. I know some of this runs against what you were told for years. That is exactly the point. The advice that got you stuck cannot get you unstuck. Now, here is something almost nobody talks about, and it is a quiet, sneaky reason that so many people stay completely stuck no matter how hard they try. Visceral fat becomes metabolically locked when your circulation is poor. Think about it. Fat cannot be carried out and burned if the roads leading there are jammed. The molecule that keeps those roads open and flowing is nitric oxide. Your cells produce it naturally, and it quietly does a whole long list of good things. It improves blood flow, enhances fat burning, lowers inflammation, and sharpens your insulin sensitivity all at once. So our clear job now is to ramp it way up. The first lever is the most overlooked thing in the world. It is simply how you breathe each day without ever giving it a second thought. Throughout the day, whenever you are not talking or exercising, make a conscious effort to breathe through your nose instead of your mouth. This matters far more than it sounds. Nasal breathing is one of the main ways your body actually generates and circulates nitric oxide. Your nose is doing important chemistry that your mouth simply cannot. At night, while you sleep, consider gently taping your mouth closed so you are forced to breathe through your nose for the entire night, hour after hour. It sounds strange the very first time you hear it. I know. But the difference in how rested and clear you feel waking up is genuinely hard to ignore. Here is a small thing that is secretly working against you. That harsh antiseptic mouthwash, the kind that proudly boasts about killing 99% of all bacteria. They are telling the truth, but they do not discriminate. They wipe out the good bacteria in your mouth that convert your food into precious nitric oxide. Over time, that can quietly raise your blood pressure and choke off your circulation. So skip the antiseptic rinses for at least these 30 days and notice the difference. Then there is movement. Aim for somewhere between 8 and 10,000 steps each day. It is simple, low stress, and steadily effective for burning stubborn fat over time. And if you want to supercharge things, add a little sprinting once or twice a week. You truly do not need much of it to see real benefits. A single all-out 20-second sprint, then 90 seconds of recovery, repeated 3 times. That is the entire workout, done in minutes, just twice, across the whole week. Short bursts like this are fantastic for pulling fat off your organs and flooding your system with nitric oxide, all while keeping your cortisol calm and low. Less really is more here. You do not need to crush yourself. You just need to nudge your body in the right direction, gently and consistently, day after day. If I had to name the single most underrated fat loss tool on the entire planet, without any hesitation at all, it would be your nightly sleep. Poor sleep means high cortisol. High cortisol means visceral fat storage. The connection is that direct, that simple, and that important to take seriously starting tonight. So your goal over these 30 days is easy to say and life-changing to actually hit. Aim for roughly 90 minutes of deep restorative sleep every single night. That is the deepest stage of sleep, the place where your body does its real repair work and burns its very deepest fat. Here is how you get there. Start with temperature. Your bedroom should be genuinely cool. Research points to somewhere around 65 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit as the sweet spot for deep, fat-burning sleep. Your body needs to cool down to drop into those deeper stages, and a warm, stuffy room quietly fights against that goal the entire night long. Next, stop eating well before bed. Give yourself at least 3 hours between your last bite and your pillow. The eating window we set already covers this nicely. Beyond that, the small things stack up. The mouth tape we mentioned, a sleep mask to block out every scrap of stray light, and a quality magnesium supplement. Around 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate before bed is a gentle, effective dose that helps your busy nervous system finally downshift and relax into rest. Here is a lovely little trick if you want one. Banana tea. It is about as close to a natural, gentle nightcap as you will ever find. Grab a whole organic banana, peel and all. Cut off both ends, slice it in half, and drop the whole thing into a small pot of water. Let it simmer until the peel turns slightly brown. Then pour off the warm liquid into a cup and slowly sip it in the quiet before bed. The peel is actually richer in minerals like potassium and magnesium than the soft fruit inside. That combination calms your mind and eases you toward deeper sleep. And the best part, it will not break your fast at all. So you get the calming benefit without undoing any of the careful fasting work you have done. Why fight this hard for better sleep? Because the payoff is honestly enormous, far bigger than most people ever stop to realize when they cut their rest short. Studies have found that people who consistently sleep well can burn meaningfully more calories per day than those who scrape by on far too little rest each night. You are literally leaving fat loss on the table every single night you cut your sleep short. Protecting your sleep is protecting your results, plain and simple. Now we reach a step that explains a deeply frustrating phenomenon. People who do everything else right and still feel like their body is clinging on for dear life. Here is the survival logic again. Your body's number one job, above absolutely everything else, is to keep you alive through whatever comes. It never forgets that mission. Toxins constantly enter your body through your food, your water, and even the very air that you breathe in without any thought at all, every single day. Your body cannot always neutralize them on the spot, so it does the next best thing. It tucks them away somewhere they cannot do immediate harm to you. And one of its favorite storage lockers is your fat. The thinking is almost poetic. The solution to pollution is dilution. Bury the toxin, protect the organs. But here is the problem. If your body fears that releasing the fat means releasing those stored toxins with no safe exit, it simply will not let go. It holds the fat in order to keep holding the toxins safely. And the key to giving your body the confidence to release both is steady minerals. So every day, make sure you are getting enough high-quality salt, your magnesium at night, and a couple of supportive foods like nourishing bone broth and whole eggs. These provide the building blocks your liver needs. With minerals in place, your liver can safely process the fat and toxins, and your body finally feels free to release. This next step honestly surprises people, so let me say it plainly and clearly. For burning visceral fat, gentle walking beats grinding, exhausting cardio almost every single time. I know that sounds completely backwards. We were trained to believe that if we are not gasping and drenched in sweat, then somehow it simply does not count. But here is the catch. Long, intense, repeated high-intensity cardio, the kind that leaves you absolutely wrecked, can actually spike your cortisol higher when it is badly overdone. And we have spent this entire plan trying to lower cortisol. So smashing yourself with punishing daily workouts can quietly sabotage the very thing you are working so hard toward. Instead, walk every single day without fail. And if you can manage it, take a 30-minute walk shortly after the largest meal of your day. The timing matters. There is something genuinely powerful about that timing. A gentle walk after eating blunts the blood sugar and insulin spike from that meal, sliding you into fat burning sooner. Walking lowers cortisol, sharpens insulin sensitivity, and specifically targets that deep belly fat. Aim for 8,000 to 10,000 steps total, and you handle this without any gym. You made it to the final step. Good. Because this is the one most people scroll right past, and it might honestly be the most important of them all. Your thoughts are not just abstract noise floating around inside your head. They are real biochemical events. Every single thought you have sends a signal cascading through your body. And the research here is genuinely staggering. Psychologists estimate the average person has around 60,000 thoughts every single day, churning quietly from the moment you wake up. Roughly 90% of them are the very same thoughts you had yesterday. You are running the same mental tape on a loop without even noticing it happening. And of those, a huge majority skew negative. Worry, criticism, fear, resentment, stinking thinking, as the old saying goes. And here is the line worth truly remembering forever. If your thinking is stinking, your health is shrinking. It is simple, but it is true. Your inner world quietly shapes the chemistry of your entire outer body. Because negative thoughts spike cortisol. This is not soft feel-good fluff. It is real physiology. When you sit in anger or fear, your body interprets it as threat. And that threat response is exactly what we have been fighting this whole time. Cortisol climbing, inflammation rising, and the fat storage switch flipping firmly into the on position. But flip it around, and the same mechanism works powerfully in your favor. A grateful thought, a loving thought, a calm, hopeful, peaceful thought. The signal completely changes. Now the message says, everything is fine, you are safe, and there is no emergency at all. Cortisol drops. Inflammation drops. Your body shifts into healing instead of guarding. Here is why that is the best news in this whole lesson. If you truly have 60,000 thoughts daily, you have 60,000 chances to feel safe. 60,000 chances every single day to nudge your body into a calm, low cortisol, fat-burning state, completely free and completely under your own quiet control the whole time. The fastest way to make that shift is gratitude. Plain, deliberate, daily gratitude. Every morning, before your feet even hit the floor, feel genuinely thankful for something specific. Write it down. Then again at night, right before bed, do exactly the same thing. This small habit slowly rewires the chemistry your mind sends to your body. And on top of that, rewrite your identity with a simple affirmation. Write it out and read it aloud and silently as many times as you possibly can. Say something like this. I am so grateful that my body feels safe now. Fat loss comes easily to me. The health I seek is now seeking me. It sounds simple. It might even feel a little silly the first few times you try it. But you are deliberately changing the signal your mind broadcasts inside. And that quiet signal changes your hormones. Over 30 steady days, that shift becomes real measurable safety inside your body. The exact safety that finally releases the fat. So let us bring it all together now, because here is what truly happens when you put these 7 steps to work for 30 straight, committed days. You lower cortisol. You drive down insulin. You restore the signaling that has been jammed for years. You sleep deeper than you have in a very long time. And above all, you send your body one consistent, repeated message it can finally trust. You are safe now. And the moment it believes that, the fat surrenders. The visceral fat loses its entire reason for existing. It has no job left to do. So it quietly leaves, the way it always wanted to once safe. And make no mistake, this is a fight genuinely worth winning. Visceral fat is not just a cosmetic annoyance you can shrug off. It is far more dangerous. It crowds and pressures your heart, your kidneys, your pancreas, your most vital organs. Left unchecked, it sets off a slow cascade towards serious metabolic disease over time. Losing it is not vanity. It is one of the very best things you can possibly do for both the length and the quality of your one life. Of course, before making big changes to how you eat or train, it is always wise to check in with a healthcare provider who knows your situation well. Especially if you have any existing conditions, then commit fully and watch what your body does when you finally stop fighting it and start gently working alongside it instead. Now, let me answer the questions that come up most often, because a little clarity right now will save you a great deal of second guessing later on. Is reaching zero visceral fat actually possible? Or is it just clickbait? It is a real target. The goal is essentially no fat wrapped dangerously around your organs. Even starting from a high level, this is achievable over time, and 30 focused days of this plan can build real, lasting momentum in the right direction. How do I know if my belly fat is visceral or subcutaneous? Watch for telling signs: small skin tags, dark velvety patches, and heavy weight around the midsection. Feeling sluggish after meals counts too. And if you cannot go a few hours without eating before feeling awful, that is often insulin resistance quietly talking to you. A body composition scan at a clinic can measure it precisely. But you do not need one to start. Just watch those signs ease over the coming month. Can women follow this exact plan? For a focused 30-day window, yes, it works well for both men and women without any major adjustments needed at all. If you continue beyond 30 days, women who still cycle should customize the fasting structure to work with their hormones rather than pushing against them for better results. How long until visceral fat starts shrinking? Not days. Scale weight may dip quickly, but visceral fat takes time to mobilize. Expect at least the full 30 days. What if my schedule makes that eating window impossible? Do it on the days you can. On the other days, simply eat nothing for 5 hours before bed. Can I drink coffee during the fast? Yes, as long as it is clean and black with nothing added. Plain coffee will not break your fast or spike insulin. Is walking really enough? Truly, yes. Adding short sprints is a great bonus, and strength training helps later. But remember, with visceral fat, less is usually genuinely more. What happens after 30 days? Transition gently. Do not snap back. Keep the foundations, loosen the strict parts slowly, and watch how your body responds along the way. That is the entire plan. 7 steps, 30 days, one single mission. To make your body feel safe enough that it finally, willingly chooses to let the fat go. So here is my honest challenge to you. Commit to it fully. Do not cherry pick the easy parts, because the real magic lives in how these steps reinforce each other. And if you want to stack the odds in your favor, find one person to do it alongside you. Tell them simply, let us do this thing together. Because accountability is the glue that connects your goals to your actual real-world results. You are far more likely to finish when someone is finishing right beside you. Do the 30 days. Then come back and tell me what changed. Your energy, your sleep, your waistline, all of it. I honestly cannot wait to hear it. So stop hoping your body will somehow change on its own. Stand up, decide right now, and go make it change. Your 30 days start today. Let us go.